How's it going, everybody? It is iVisual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus Yuki over here in the OU tier. So if you do enjoy these, make sure to hit that like button on the video, and the team I'm using is in the description if you do want to try it out. Made by me, it's a hyper-offensive team, and I used it in a Showdown Live a little while back. It was really fun. And here we are in the Wi-Fi battles with this team. So looking at Yuki's team, I'm thinking it's going to be Mega Lopunny as a lead. I don't want to lead off with my Bisharp because my Bisharp is Focus Sash, Stealth Rocks, and I don't want to get faked out and High Jump Kick. So I'm thinking Mega Lopunny is a nice lead. It just kind of claims lives versus Yuki's team. High Jump Kick has no switch-ins. Tornadoes could be bulky though, so I got to be careful with that. It could be the Defogger too. Not too worried though about Tornadoes. Like really, I just got to get in Greninja as much as possible and just hit him hard, because Ferrothorn, it could be especially defensive looking at Yuki's team, but Greninja doesn't care, especially if you weaken it with Dark Pulse over and over again. So I think Ash Greninja is my way of winning. Also Mimikyu is pretty nice as well if I can get rid of his Lopunny, since Lopunny is immune to my Shadow Sneaks. So we lead off with my Mega Lopunny as it leads off with Tornadus. I can gauge what kind of Tornadus this is, as I can go for the fake outs. I could have let off a Bisharp since he let off with Tornadus, but hey, you never know. He could have let off with Mega Lopunny. So Divine Wind is going to be Rocky Helmet. I'm going to switch out into my Thundurus because Thundurus can take anything that Tornadus wants to go for. It would suck if he knocked off, but luckily he did not. He just went for the Hurricane, which would have been a very, very, very risky play if he went for the knockoff on a Mega Lopunny. But it is a nice prediction too. So I went for Superpower expecting him to switch out, but he went for Taunt, which really surprised me because Thundurus has the ability Prankster, and if I wanted to go for something, I would have been faster because of the ability Prankster, so I was really surprised for that. So yeah, now he goes into Ferrothorn as a double superpower. It doesn't do as much because I was -1 attack after hitting the Tornadus. I took Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet damage from Tornadus and Ferrothorn all combined, so that kind of sucks getting Thundurus weakens. But with the Ferrothorn in, it allows me to bring in my Bisharp, and I can get to my Stealth Rocks up, as he got a Spike up and he goes for the Leech Seed. I was thinking of knocking off because, you know, weakening Ferrothorn is amazing for Greninja. It literally just clicks Surf versus his team. But I really wanted Rocks up because it could just, you know, whittle down his team, break any Focus Sashes if he has any randomly, and just weaken Tornadus as well, which is good for my team as well. So we go for the knockoff, as in comes the UFO, the Magnezone, and it takes a lot of damage from that knockoff, but it is able to take the Sucker Punch because of that Leech Seed recovery coming in clutch for the Magnezone. So down goes my Bisharp. It was Adamant Nature, almost knocking out the Magnezone, but it just wasn't enough. So we go into Ash Greninja. As Ash Greninja, I want to get that Battle Bond. I can go for the Dark Pulse pretty safely. He does bring in Owie, the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn looks to be able to take 2 of those, but I'm going to try my luck and get a 20% chance. Flinch? Nope, not today. No flinch today. So he does Leech Seed, luckily not Power Whipping. That would have been terrible, because then I just lost my win con, but you know, I'd like to risk it for the biscuits. Probably should not do the same thing I do unless you just don't care. So I switch out to Breloom because I can take a Power Whip. He goes for another Spike, so I guess he doesn't have Power Whip on his Ferrothorn. So that's good information, unless he's saving in the back, just like waiting for the right moment. I go for Rock Tomb, expecting him to want to switch out into, like, I don't know, Tornadus. I felt like that'd be a nice switch, but he does not. He stays in with Ferrothorn. Goes for the Gyro Ball and critical hits me. So down goes my Breloom. I lose my Banded Breloom. Did so much work versus his team. Oh well. It's not the end of the world because I still have win cons. So I bring in Mega Lopunny. I go for the High Jump Kick. Luckily he did not switch out to Tornadus right there because I felt like he could have. Maybe after a High Jump Kick, Frustration could knock out the Tornadus. I'm thinking a bulky one even. So he just wants to keep Tornadus maybe in the back. So he actually brought a Mega Lopunny on my Lopunny, which is a risky play because then I'm going to be risking that Speed Tie. He does want to get that nice chip with Fake Out though. But I do win the Speed Tie, so Fan Service does go down. He probably shouldn't have risked it because he did have Tornadus he could have easily went into. But he did it, so I don't know. Luckily for me he did that because getting rid of his Lopunny is huge for my Mimikyu in the back because he can break my Disguise pretty easily and I can't Shadow Sneak him. So I do get some nice chip on the Tornadus. I wasn't minimum happiness, so that's why Frustration didn't do anything. Unfortunately, I forgot again. But it allows me to weaken him and go into my Greninja and get that Battle Bond. Since he has no switching to Greninja anymore, everything gets to it KO'd. Unless he's going to be like a Scarf Garchomp or a Scarf Hoopa Unbound, I'm not too worried. So, in comes Big Draco. I go for the Dark Pulse just to get some damage on him, put him in range for really anything, like Shadow Claw if I don't want to miss a Play Rough. And also I do want to see if he's going to be Choice Scarf as well. And also, it could gauge if he wants to just Swords Dance up too, because maybe he expects me to switch out. So I lose my Greninja 2 to Dragonium Z. Really interesting that it's Dragonium Z because usually I run into Rockium Z's. That's like a little older set. I ran into Dragonium Z. I mean, it's still good, but I think Rockium Z is a little bit better in my opinion. So I bring in Thundurus. I go for the safe Hidden Power Ice. He sacks Magnezone. In comes Hoopa. I got that nice superpower on deck. I am a timid nature Thundurus though. Just running attack EVs. I don't know. I made it really quickly. So yeah, I mean, it works out, to be honest. And Assault Vest Thundurus catches people off guard. I don't think I mentioned it was Assault Vest, did I? But yeah, it just lives hits, and it can catch a lot of people off guard. And it's really nice coverage. Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, HP Ice, and Superpower. I like it a lot. So we bring in Mimikyu and finish off the game with Mimikyu because Mimikyu, I weakened his entire team. And yeah, weakened the Garchomp to knock it out with Shadow Sneak. Could have been Ironhead and flinch me, who knows? You never know. Maybe Yuki could be running that. So yeah, GG to Yuki. I think that he should have not brought in Mega Lopunny and my Lopunny. He should have went to Tornadus. That would have helped him a lot. And other than that, I think, yeah, there's nothing really he could have done differently. Maybe if he had Power Whip on his Ferrothorn and Power Whip my Greninja every single time, that could have helped him a lot as well. Other than that, I don't really see what else he could have done. So GG to Yuki. Next up, we guys versus Chris. Looking at Chris's team, it's Mega Gallade. I mean, you don't use regular Gallade in OU, so I don't know. And he has Empoleon and a little Muck, which is really weak to ground, but then he has that Levitator, Bronzong, and then a really nice flying Pokemon, Zapdos, which Zapdos doesn't appreciate like Stone Edge, but Bronzong does. Bronzong can take those attacks, so I like the look of Chris's team. It's like looking like a well-balanced team. And yeah, he has really good switches to Ash Greninja. A little Muck can take the Surfs and the Dark Pulses pretty well, especially if it's a Soul Vest or even the Gluttony, like Figgy or Papa Berry. A little Empoleon is usually especially defensive, and not the Greninja, the Bronzong as well. So Empoleon can take my water moves pretty nicely, and Bronzong can probably take my Thundurus on pretty nicely as well. Other than that, maybe Breloom can spore some of his team. And yeah, I think Mimikyu is going to be my win con because once I Swords Dance up, he doesn't have a good switch into Mimikyu other than like Empoleon. And I got to break his Mimikyu's disguise as well because with a very hyper offensive team like mine, Mimikyu is a very dangerous Pokemon. Mimikyu can really destroy hyper offensive teams because they just don't have switch-ins to Pokemon. They go down to hits. As weak as Mimikyu is, with Swords Dance, it's very dangerous. So yeah, I lead off with Bisharp because I can get the rocks up reliably unless he has Taunt. But he does not, and he just goes for the close combat, and he lowers his defense by 1, which is awesome because now I can Sucker Punch him and maybe get a critical hit to knock him out. But Mega Gallade does not get critted, and it's able to take the Adamant Sucker Punch and knock me out with the Ice Punch. So at least I got rocks up and weakened the Mega Gallade, so now I can bring in my Greninja and just threaten him and maybe get my Battle Bond. So I do predict him to probably want to go into a Alolan Muck. I don't think he would want to go into Empoleon because reasons being because Empoleon kind of opens more doors for my Pokemon because I can bring in Thundurus. Alolan Muck doesn't really have too many switch-ins with my team. Like, he can knock off and Poison Jab or Gunk Shot a lot of my team. So that's why I felt like Alolan Muck could come in better and capitalize better. So luckily, I do some pretty good damage with Surf. He does knock off my Specs, though, which sucks, so I don't knock him out with the third Surf. He goes for the Shadow Sneak. Luckily, no Poison Touch if he does have that ability. I'm not poisoned. And I get to knock out the Alolan Muck right there. So luckily he did not go for the poison move too. He probably expected me to switch out. And he just wanted to maybe get like a knockoff off on something like maybe Thundurus, I don't know. Anything really would be valuable to knock off. So getting the Battle Bond is really nice. I'm able to switch up my moves as well, but I can't knock out Empoleon, so I just go into Thundurus as that Scald does a lot of damage. I don't know if that's Specs or whatnot, because I'm a Soul Vest, baby. I don't know how that did that much damage. I think it's going to be like, I don't know, Specs or maybe Max Special Attack Modest or something. So then comes Bronzong. I just go for the Thunderbolts, and I don't have a real surefire way of beating Bronzong without like going into Mimikyu or losing my disguise. And Bronzong could be like toxic. I don't want my Pokemon to get toxic, so I just stay in with Thundurus and just try and weaken him with Thunderbolt. Like, I got the parrot, so that's pretty nice. And he could get up his rocks with Bronzong, which really would suck. I'm just going to hope that he doesn't, but he does, unfortunately. So Thundurus is going to go down if I do switch out, so I might as well just stay in. Or I can keep it as a sack for later. Whatever he brings in, I can maybe keep Thundurus and go into something else. Like, he does bring in Mimikyu, so I'm thinking he's going to Shadow Sneak, because he definitely doesn't want me to break his disguise. So I'm going to go into Lopunny. Pretty risky play, but I do expect the Shadow Sneak, and luckily that comes in handy, and I can keep my Thundurus as a sack fodder. So Megalopony does have the fake out. We can just flinch this Mimikyu, break its disguise. But I have Encore in my Megalopony. I bet you didn't see that one coming. And we can lock him into Shadow Sneak. But he got the Z move, and oh man, I just didn't expect him to go for the Z move right there. That really sucks. So he's gonna blow back my Megalopony, which is huge because Megalopony just destroyed him as well with rocks up on his side of the field. It was pretty nice with Encore as well. I thought I got him right there, but nope. I probably should have just faked out because I'm pretty sure you can't Z move when I fake you out. And then I don't think I can Encore after I fake him out. Maybe I can. Either way, I'm bringing Breloom because Breloom can hopefully take a play rough. I don't know. I just didn't have a switch into Mimikyu. I should have just went into Greninja. So he actually switches out his Mimikyu, which I was surprised by. Maybe he was thinking I was going to be Scarfed Breloom. I don't know. I really don't know. But I sacked Thundurus over here. I probably should not have brought in Breloom though. Like, that was probably a misplay looking back at it. I should have just went into like my Greninja Water Shuriken or maybe my own Mimikyu. But hey, he switched out, so awesome for me. He probably thought I was Scarf, like I said. And he brought in the Mimikyu back, so maybe he wasn't scared of Scarf anymore. Maybe he just knew that since I was locked into Rock Tomb, he can, bring it in safely. So I brought in my Mimikyu as he brought in his, and I break his disguise. He doesn't break mine, which is awesome. But then he goes into Zapdos and paralyzes me. Ah, that is terrible. Because now Mimikyu is not faster than his team, and I needed to be faster than his Zapdos because I need a Swords Dance up and like not play rough. Well, Mimikyu EMZ with play rough, and that would blow back a Zapdos when I'm +2. So I'm kind of hoping this Zapdos is not going to be faster than my Breloom, but it is, and it does have Heat Wave, so that sucks. So in comes Greninja. I'm just going to try and knock out Zapdos. That would be amazing, but he's smart, and he goes into Empoleon, which Empoleon does take on Mimikyu as well, so I think he got this one in the bag, to be honest. And I can't switch out Greninja. I wish I could, but Stealth Rocks are up, and I go down to another round of Stealth Rocks. So I'm forced to stay in, and I just gotta hope that I can critical hit this Mimikyu with the Water Shurikens, because Water Shuriken always hits 3 times. It's powerful, but I do not get any critical hits, and Mimikyu is able to take it, because Mimikyu has really good special defense. And he just went for the Shadow Sneak, because it knocks me out from the range I was at. So last, my Mimikyu, my last Pokemon. I gotta hope that he doesn't Shadow Sneak and break my disguise, but he does. And I gotta hope I'm not gonna be full parrot, which I don't. So last Mon Zapdos versus last Mon Mimikyu. Can I knock out the Zapdos with the Mimikyu and EMZ? Because his Zapdos is pretty dang low. He has to Roost to hope that he can live a hit. So he does go for Roost. He might predict me to be Z move. I'm not adamant, which sucks, and I do get full paralyzed right there. And that is gonna be game because even if I break through, he is gonna be able to live it unless I critical hit him. Who knows? Maybe I do critical hit him right here. Because I do go down to 1 more hit, obviously. And luckily I did not go full parrot. I gotta try and critical hit him because Zapdos is bulky enough to live the Mimikyu EMZ. I know that for a fact. It's pretty much this game I was just hoping for some crits, really. And hoping to not get full parrot, but I did. Because maybe at the range he was at, I could have Shadow Sneaked and knocked him out. I doubt it though. And plus I get knocked out by Rocky Helmet, so that sucks. If he didn't have Rocky Helmets, maybe I could have Shadow Sneaked and knocked him out. I don't know. Zapdos is so dang bulky. So that's a GG to Chris. He played it well. And yeah, I think I probably could have played it a little bit better. Like, I should have just faked out Mimikyu. And I should have not brought in Breloom on Mimikyu. But hey, it worked out. I got rid of Mega Gallade with the Rock Tomb. So next up we got is versus Hospy over here. And looking at his team, we got Sticky Webs Galvantula. Really cool. With Chansey. So Chansey on some hyper offensive team. We got Hawlucha Koko, Mega Metacham, and then maybe just Z-Move Victini, like Z-Celebrate is what I'm assuming. Sticky Webs are pretty annoying for my team, but at the same time, not too annoying since I have a lot of priority. And oh yeah, I remember why I built this team. It was a priority team. It was a priority theme team. Everything has priority. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Sticky Webs since I have a lot of priority, and I can have Mimikyu for the Hawlucha as well. And a lot of things defeats Chansey on my team, so he just kind of sends it out on my Megalopony as I go for fake outs. He doesn't want to lose his Focus Sash, I'm assuming, with Galvantula, so that's why he did that. And I guess he wanted to bait me to go for the high jump kick or whatever, so he goes into Koko now. Hot's Koko. Now, I think it's a roll to knock out him with the Frustration, but I don't have max or minimum happiness, so I don't really do much. But at the same time, I think Koko could probably take it, I don't know. So he knocks me out with a Specs Dazzling Gleam, which does so much damage. Now, I want him to expect me to go for Water Shuriken, so I want to bait the Chansey when it comes out, so I double it out into Bisharp, but he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, so that really sucks. I thought he would not want me to get the Battle Bond, but and go into Chansey, but I don't know, whatever. At least Bisharp, you know, can knock out the Tapu Koko with a Sucker Punch. And plus I was Focus Sash, so I wasn't too worried about getting knocked out. So he brought in Hawlucha, no Electric Seed activated. He made a boo-boo. He did not have the Electric Seed on his Hawlucha. So I just decided to get the Rocks Up as he doubled out into Chansey. So awesome, I got the Rocks Up, and I get to knock off the Violate on Chansey. So that's a really big boo-boo. I mean, I wasn't really too worried about Hawlucha because I have Mimikyu in the back. I have Disguise. There's nothing literally he can do to break through Mimikyu, and I could literally just like Mimikyu Museum and blow him back. So I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. He would have to just attack my Bisharp, and I would have been able to get Stealth Rocks up, really. And, yeah, I bring in Breloom and just knock out whatever, really. Just he has no switching to Breloom at all. Though the Galvantula does Bug Buzz me and Volt Switch me and take the Bullet Seeds, because I only got 2 hits. Man, I wish I had that 3rd hit. But it's whatever. I was kind of hoping I'd live that Volt Switch, too. So, in comes Mega Medicham, the Therapy, but we got the Mimikyu. Now, it would have been nice to break the Disguise with Mimikyu with his Hawlucha, so that maybe he can Zen Headbutt me, but I think Mimikyu takes the Zen Headbutt, and I can just Shadow Claw him. So yeah, I guess he's just going to go for the Flinch now. I mean, not the Flinch, the Freeze instead of the Flinch. Even though I think it would be better to get the Flinch, because you have a higher chance to get it with Zen Headbutt. It's 20% chance, but Zen Headbutt does have a chance to miss, so yeah, I don't know. In comes Hit or Miss, the Hawlucha. I wouldn't really wonder. I guess he just didn't have any item on his Hawlucha, unless it did. I don't know, but Acrobatics is not powerful enough to knock out Mimikyu when you still have an item, unless he didn't have an item. I don't know. But we live it, and we knock him out play rough. So in comes Victini. I just go for the Shadow Sneak because I know he's going to be Z Celebrates just looking at it. I have a feeling. And plus, if it isn't, I mean, I can get some nice chip on him as well. Might as well, since Victini is naturally faster than Mimikyu. And he does go for the Z Celebrate, so he raises all his stats by 1. But I'm able to get some more chip on him with Shadow Sneak, and he can knock me out with the Sword Powered. So I do have Assault Vest Thunderous. I'm able to take anything Victini wants to go for with my Assault Vest Thunderous. That's why it comes in clutch. You never expect it. He was probably thinking like maybe he could win. I don't know. But we live it, and I'm able to knock him out with the Thunderbolt right there. Maybe if you critical hit me, that could have been bad. But hey, I got priority on everything. Now, except for Thunderous. Thunderous could have been priority, but I decided ult me with Assault Vest. Now, it could have been Thunder Wave, though. So yeah, eventually goes down to Rocks, and that's going to be GG. So that's unfortunate that he didn't have the Electric Seed on Hawlucha. That could have maybe changed the game. Other than that, yeah, nothing really else he could have done. Like, he did make some nice plays with baiting me to go for the fighting move with Megalopony, and then going into Tapu Koko, and then knocking me out Dazzling Gleam, and then also staying in on my Greninja as well. But at least Sucker Punch knocked out the Koko. That would have been bad if he didn't. But we're adamant, and Bisharp is bulky and strong, so nice. Last game we got is versus Lance. Looking at his team, it's a pretty well-balanced team. Mega Scizor, you got Heatran Bulu, the Grassy Terrain helping out Heatran and Scizor as well. And yeah, probably just Battle Ball and Greninja, maybe Z-Move Garchomp, Rocks Garchomp could be, maybe even Scarf Garchomp with Rocks Heatran, and just probably just a Defog Zapdos, or maybe a Scizor's Defog, I don't know. But it looks like a well-balanced team. And Mimikyu is going to have a hard time breaking through with that Scizor around, so I got to try and get rid of Scizor. So we lead off with Bisharp, get those Rocks up as he leads off with his Garchomp, and he gets his Rocks up. So I was surprised I didn't go for the Earthquake, since Bisharp can really do some dirty work, but at the same time it makes sense since he probably thought I'd switch out. So, nice. He actually switches out his Garchomp into Zapdos, which surprised me a lot because I just knock off and get rid of Zapdos. Maybe he was really predicting me to want to switch out Bisharp, so he was making, you know, these calls thinking that I'm switching out. Or maybe there's another reason, you'll see. So, we bring in Megalopony as he just goes for the Roost. That's what I expected. At least the guy's leftover is gone. And at the same time, I think he was Pressure Zapdos as well. He wasn't static, so that's really good. So I don't get parried. So we encore him into Roost, which probably puts some fear into him, because now I can maybe Power Up Punch if he thinks I have that. But I don't. I just go for the High Jump Kick, because I know Frustration is not going to do anything. And I had a feeling he'd switch out. So he does go into Garchomp. I get some beautiful damage on him. He does have Reskin. And it turns out he is Scarf Garchomp. Ah, that's why he switched out and he only went for Rocks against my Bisharp. So he wasn't trying to predict me. He was literally just, you know, doing his best plays with his Garchomp. And he really wanted Rocks up first in my team too. So yeah. I'm going to keep Megalopony because I can keep it as like sack fodder versus his team later. And I expect him to just go for the Bullet Punch, so I just bring in Thunderous. And maybe he'd be scared out by Thunderous. Like, Thunderous does a lot of work versus his team. He does not have a good switch into Thunderous with Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, though, I'm not like a Life Orb or Specs one, so this Thunderbolt doesn't really do too much to his Mega Scizor. And luckily he didn't like knock off or anything like that. He just goes for a U-turn. I guess he's gonna be like Roost, Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, and U-turn. I'd assume he could be Superpower though. But U-turn doesn't do a lot of damage. So in comes Greninja. I'm just gonna sack my Mega Lopunny, but then I forgot I live after rocks, so that's terrible. So now he gets his Battle Bond Greninja. I was banking on me sacking my Mega Lopunny right there, but that is not the case. So I should have just sacked Thundurus right there, because Lopunny is way more important than Thundurus, I think. Because even though Thundurus doesn't really have good switch-ins, Mega Lopunny at the same time doesn't have good switch-ins. So that sucks. So I bring in Breloom, as he's probably scared out by anything, because he's locked into probably Surf, unless he uses not Specs. But yeah, I go for Rock Tomb just because it hits his switch-ins that he'd probably want to bring out on Breloom. And maybe I can two-shot whatever. So Boo actually gets two-shot by Banded Rock Tomb, which is awesome for me. I get rid of that guy because that's a threat and a half. In comes Mega Scizor, which I know for a fact lives Rock Tomb, but maybe he's going to be an offensive one, maybe no HP and I can knock him out. But I know for a fact he is because he took that Thunderbolt. So I was hoping maybe I can get a critical hit or something, but nope. No luck for me, and Scizor is able to roost off, and now my worst nightmare is Mega Scizor because I can barely knock out. So I go into Thundurus. I know Thundurus is probably not going to take the Bullet Punch, but hey, who knows? Maybe I can. There's no way. But yeah, maybe I could have went for like, I don't know, if I was not going to be a Sylveus, I had Thunder Wave, maybe I can paralyze him. So now my next plan is going to Spore his team, and yeah, we just Spore him. Luckily he didn't Bullet Punch right there. He probably just went for U-turn, expecting me to not be able to do anything to his Scizor since I switched my Breloom out the last time. So we bring in Greninja, hoping that he stays asleep, but dang it, he woke up and he's able to U-turn. First turn wake, and he is, well actually it's second turn wake, because first turn wake is when I Spore him since he was slower. Second turn wake, he's able to wake up and U-turn and blow back my Greninja, which sucks because Greninja was amazing versus his team, with Bulu being gone. Unfortunate. I could have gotten a nice heavy hit off with the Surf too, to maybe put in range for one of my other Pokemon. So I try and push my luck with Mimikyu, Swords Dancing up versus Zapdos. He does try and para me. Luckily, note this charge para, and I'm able to blow back the Zapdos. Now, this is what should have happened on that last battle versus the Zapdos with my Mimikyu. Not getting full parried, and also not getting parried by the static. But hey, Zapdos, it does what it does best, and it parries Pokemon, and it's able to take on physical attackers. Unless you got a rock coverage move, like Stone Edge. Then Zapdos doesn't appreciate that. So we throw Zapdos out into the forest after we snuggle it forever. And in comes Heatran. Now, Heatran usually just have like Magic Storm and Earth Power. So I'm thinking, okay, I can probably take a hit and Swords Dance up again. So he actually surprised me with a Substitute. So I'm really scared because last time I ran into a Substitute Heatran, it had Flash Cannon. So I'm praying he doesn't have Flash Cannon. But at the same time, he probably should have just went for Flash Cannon if he had it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I just go for the Shadow Claw, break his sub because I have to. I can't let Heatran behind a sub and then him knock me out. So he actually goes for Earth Power. So I'm like, okay, interesting. Maybe he doesn't want to miss Magma Storm or something like that. And I don't actually knock him out with the +4 Shadow Claw, so I should have went for a Swords Dance again because that would have been the best play because then I get maximum damage off on everything on his team, like Shadow Sneak +6 on his Mega Scizor. Maybe could put it in range for something on my team. But I'm only +4. And luckily I lived another Earth Power right there, so that's good. So I get a nice +4 Shadow Sneak off. Obviously I have to go for the Shadow Sneak because he has Bullet Punch and that's priority. So down goes Mimikyu. In comes Breloom. I have to Spore again. I'm praying that he doesn't switch out because I need the Scizor falling asleep, and that's like my only way of winning. But even then, he Bullet Punches and puts me in range, hopefully, for his Greninja in the back because Greninja Water Shuriken is looking like it's going to sweep me with my Breloom being weakened. So, yeah. That's the only way I could have won, though. Maybe if he went to Greninja as a Spore, that could have been nice, but then he could just bring in Scizor again and just beat me. So I don't think I had a really surefire way of winning. I just gotta hope the Scizor stays asleep and that, like, maybe he misses Hydro Pump with his Greninja versus my Bisharp and doesn't lock himself in Water Shuriken, but he has to, like, because then I can just Mach Punch him with my Breloom. So he actually wakes up, but luckily he wasn't faster than my Bisharp, so he went for the Bullet Punch, obviously. If he was running speed, he probably would have went for the Roost, but he doesn't. So luckily my Bisharp with no Swords Dance able to beat the Mega Scizor. But in comes Greninja, and it's able to Water Shuriken. And unfortunately, Breloom is going to go down to the Water Shurikens. So close, though. So close. Maybe if I didn't get in the Battle Bond, that would have been nice. But I don't think I had any other way to stop the Battle Bond. Maybe if I brought in Breloom hard on his Greninja. I don't know. I think I still get 2 killed. But I could have scared him out with the Mach Punch. I probably should have just done that with my Breloom. But I wanted to keep Breloom healthy. Oh, well. I think it was a really tough matchup regardless because Mega Scizor just kind of walled everything on my team once Greninja was gone. Like, I needed Greninja to win this game, and he just woke up and blowing it back with the U-turn. So GG to Lance. That is going to be the games for today. Really fun hyper offensive team. If you do want to Wi-Fi battle me, my link for the Discord is in the description. That's where I get all my Wi-Fi battles. You can message me there, and you can battle other people there as well and talk about Pokemon. So yeah, that's going to be it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace, everybody.